Hey friends, it's me, Miss Mo. I'm so happy to be here with you guys today. Thanks for watching. Before we get started on our story, can you help me with something real quick? Okay, thanks. So I have some things over here at my house, and I was wondering if you guys could tell me what things are special and what things are boring. Okay, so we're going to look at special and boring, or like simple. Okay, so like something extra special or something kind of simple. Okay, so what about these pencils or these colored pencils? What would you say? Which one is special and which one is boring? This one? Okay. I mean, they are good pencils, but like if we have either kind, sometimes these colorful ones are more special. Yeah, I agree. So these are going to be on the special side, and these are going to be on kind of like the boring or simple side. Okay, so I'll put that here. I'll put these over here. Okay. What about this orange? Okay. Or this orange? Which one would you say is special and which one would you say is boring? Okay. Yeah, you're right. I mean, they both are really good, but if I had to choose between the two, I would probably pick this one as special and maybe this one is boring. I would still eat either one, but you know what I mean. Okay, so I'm going to go put this on the boring side with the pencils and this one over here. Okay. What about some candy? Some Laffy Taffy. Special or boring? Really? Really special? Okay, so I'll put this on the special side. You guys got it. You guys are really good at it. Okay, what about some, are these tissues? Who put tissues here? I didn't mean to pick the tissues. Tissues aren't special or boring. We just have to blow our nose in it. Why are we putting tissues in our story today? Let me put this back. Gross. I'm so sorry about that. They are important though, but I don't think they're special. I'll stick them over here. What about these two staplers? Which one would you say is special and which one would you say is boring? Yeah, I like them both too. But this one looks a little bit more like curved and a brighter color, and it just looks kind of cooler. So I'm going to put this on the special fancy side over here, and then I'm going to put this kind of over on the boring side. We have one more. So we have a cup of water and some cherry limeade drink. Which one would you say is special and what would you say is boring? Oh, really? Okay. So I'll put this one over here on special and this one over here on boring. Yeah, I think they're both so important, but this is like a little special, unique, kind of fancy. That here and that here. You know, when I think about the word special or fancy, I remember this birthday party that I was invited to. It was my friend. She was in my second grade class, and her name was Andrea. And Andrea was really cool. She had a swimming pool in the backyard with a big, curvy yellow slide. Her parents let her eat desserts and chips like all the time. She had these really cool rollerblades that lit up, and she could stay up late. And so Andrea was like a really cool friend in our classroom. And everybody thought she was so cool. And I did too. So she invited all the girls in our class to her birthday party at her house, at her pool. Oh, I was so excited. My mom let me go, and I just felt so cool and special because Andrea, the coolest kid in the class, invited me. And so if she is cool and invited me, that must mean that I'm cool too. And so I just was like walking into the birthday party, just feeling so good and just feeling so confident. And we played and we swam and we played some games and we had lunch. And it was so much fun. We started playing another game in the pool named called Marco Polo, and everybody was playing, but Andrea was kind of ignoring me. She was not playing with me, and she was not really even like having fun with me. She kind of didn't really like me anymore. I started feeling kind of lonely and a little bit silly and kind of embarrassed because everybody was playing together and I was feeling really left out and I didn't really have anyone to play with. And then when we had cake and ice cream, um, everybody got served their cake and ice cream first and I was last. I thought, what did I do wrong? Why doesn't Andrea think that I'm cool anymore? And she got a lot of really cool presents from her friends. And you know what I got her? I got her a sweater. She didn't really think it was that cool. At first, I thought I was so cool and special being invited to her birthday party. But then when I went and she started kind of ignoring me and not really like playing with me, I left feeling really low and really not important and kind of boring. When I went home, I cried to my mom. I said, Mom, I don't feel special anymore. Andrea kind of decided I wasn't really her friend anymore. And I just feel so embarrassed and I feel like I'm just not really good anymore. I gotta find a way to be better and special and fun and cool. And I just cried and cried. And most of all, I felt unwanted and I felt lonely. Have you ever felt that way before? Yeah, I bet. I feel that way sometimes too. And it's just like a sad feeling. Sometimes I try to do other things to make me not feel that way anymore. But it's okay to kind of feel sad about some of those things. Well, today we're going to hear a story about how Jesus made some people who were very boring people into very special people. Kind of the opposite of what happened with Andrea and I. Andrea first made me feel so special, and then she showed me that I wasn't really special to her anymore. But Jesus did the opposite. He found people who were not special, and he made them special. So let me show you in our Bible today. It is the story called Let's Go. And those are the two words that he said to some of his friends, the not so special friends. So I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. I'm going to try to show it to you. Let's see. I think I'm going to kind of read it to you like this. Okay. And you can kind of follow along and listen along. It's called Let's Go. After Jesus was baptized, he went straight out into the desert. That might seem like an odd place to go because, as you know, deserts are very hot and there isn't any food or water or places to stay. But Jesus needed to get away by himself and be somewhere quiet and lonely. He needed to be with his heavenly Father to get ready for his new life. In the desert, Jesus thought about the secret rescue plan he had made with God. Before the foundation of the world, they both knew what would have to happen. To rescue God's children, Jesus would have to die. There was no other way. It was the reason he had come. Now, the old enemy, the one who had spoken through the snake to Adam and Eve, back in the garden, do you remember him? He didn't want Jesus to rescue God's people, so he lied to Jesus. Are you really God's own son? Really? He said. Poor you. God must not love you. You don't need to die. Do it my way. Yes, and no, said Jesus right away. I'm going to do what God says. And from that moment on, nothing would ever be the same. See, Jesus wasn't like Adam. Jesus was a new kind of man. He would not believe the terrible lie that the enemy spoke. Jesus knew God loved him, and he would trust God no matter what. It was just as God had promised to Adam and Eve all those years before. Jesus had come to do battle against the snake's work. He would get rid of the sin and the darkness and the tears, and he would suffer, but he would win. Okay, now listen up. I know that's kind of a lot of reading, but even if you've heard it before, I bet it can kind of be new to your ears and your heart too. I'll show you the picture. There, can you guys see okay? Let's see. Okay. Now, here's the cool part. I mean, the other part was cool too. You know what I mean. So Jesus left the desert and set about the great rescue. He was going to get God's people back. But first, he needed to find some helpers and friends. He had a lot to do. He would need some people to help him. Who would make good helpers, do you think? Clever ones, rich ones, strong, important ones? Some people might think so, but I'm sure by now you don't need me to tell you that they would be wrong. Because the people God uses don't have to know a lot of things or have a lot of things. They just have to need him a lot. One day, Jesus was walking by the Sea of Galilee when he saw some of his brothers and friends mending their nets. They were poor fishermen. Jesus called out to them, "Let's go." Sounds like Jesus is finding some of his best friends right now. He's not looking for all the special people. He's not looking for the people who are rich or fancy or like extra special like my friend Andrea. He's looking for the poor and simple and sinful people. Peter, Andrew, James, and John looked up at this man on the shore, and they couldn't explain it. Their boats needed to be put away. Their nets needed mending. Fish were still wriggling on the shore. But there was something about this stranger that made them just drop their nets and their fish, leave their boats and everything, and follow him. It was kind of like similar if you guys are like playing outside at the park and you guys are in the middle of a game of kickball, or if you're like hanging on the monkey bars and you're going across the monkey bars, or you're going down the slide. You're just like having a great time. And it's like if Jesus calls you and says, "Hey, let's go." It's like you're holding the ball and you just like drop the ball like midair, right? Or you're like hanging on the monkey bars and you just like drop it and you just go. Almost like it's an emergency kind of a go. It's like an emergency following Jesus. They just let go to follow him. Because this God-man was like no one they had ever met. When they looked at Jesus, their hearts filled up with a wonderful, forever sort of happiness. And inside, it was as if they were running free in an open field. Jesus asked 12 men to be his helpers. Now, I'm going to say their names, and I want you to try to say them after me. Are you ready? Okay. Peter, Andrew, James, John, Matthew, Philip, Bartholomew. Ooh, that's hard. Let's try that again. Bartholomew. Good job. Thomas. Another James. Simon. Thaddeus. And Judas. Nice job. Meeting Jesus would change all of them forever. So what I want to tell you, friends, is this. Remember the drinks we had earlier where I asked you which one was special and which one maybe was simple and kind of boring? Well, let me tell you this. And I told you that I kind of felt like this when I went to Andrea's house for her birthday party. And she was kind of like this. And I just didn't feel good enough at all to even be her friend. And I felt so lonely too. Well, with Jesus, it's totally different. Because I could tell in that story that Jesus, who was the fancy, special, perfect, holy one, was looking for friends and looking for special helpers. And out of all the people, he didn't find other special friends like this. He found friends like this. And he knew right away, come on, let's go. Come and follow me. Let's go. And they did. Jesus always picks the kind of simple people, the not fancy people, the people just like me and you, for us to follow him. Because see, later on in Jesus' life, Jesus decided to take the punishment that we deserve. That means he decided to take our discipline, like our discipline. He decided to take our bad punishment for the sin that we have that we can't get rid of any other way. And he said, I am going to take the punishment. No, I deserve that punishment. I'm the one who is lowly and simple and boring and just keep on sinning kind of a person. And he said, nope, I'm going to take it. And it's going to hurt. And he died on the cross and he rose from the dead. And he took the punishment of the whole world's sin just on him. And after he did that, you know what happened? He kind of made the boring and the lowly and the sinful one actually special. Just like that. And he took on the lowly, boring sin of us. He kind of did the great switch. Sometimes I think, Jesus, that's not really smart of you. What are you thinking? That you would take my spot? I think that I should take my spot and you should stay in your very important spot. And he says, you know, Miss Mo, he says, you don't know how great of a love I have for all of you, that my love pushes through everything that doesn't make sense. And it's stronger than all of that. I said, yeah, I guess I just don't always understand, do I? He says, nope, you don't understand. And so he did a great switch. So I want to tell you that sometimes you might feel like that too. You feel like, wow, I'm not as cool as that boy, and I'm not as pretty as that girl, and I'm not as tall as that boy, and I'm not as nice as that person. Maybe I'm a nobody. Well, let me tell you, we're all kind of nobodies, aren't we? But because of Jesus and his specialness, and because of his word and what we saw him do with his helpers, his disciples, we can see that Jesus took his very specialness and he gave it to us. So we are special because Jesus is special and he makes us special. There's not a whole lot of special about us without him, but there is a lot with him. So I'm so thankful that he has come to us first. And that's exactly who I want to be with. I want to be with Jesus because he's the one who has made me special. And he's made you guys special too. So I hope you guys have a really good day today. And I hope you have fun. And remember, you can always tell your mom and dad and your friends exactly who you are. You don't have to try to act cool or try to be perfect and try to be fancy. You can just be yourself. Even when you sin, you can just be yourself and say, "Yep, I just kind of messed up today, didn't I, Mom? Yep, I'm really sorry that I did that, Dad," or whatever. And so you don't have to try to be someone else because your parents love you just the way that you are. Do your best to obey and do the right thing. But either way, your parents love you just the way you are. And God loves you just the way you are because He came to you first. And He is ready to make you extra special because of Him. All right, you guys have a good day, and I will see you another time. All right, bye-bye.